Let's take a look at Jamie's golf swing, shall we? I'm just going to warm up. I'm going to show you my swing speed, going at what I would say is like my top end. And then we're going to see what his speeds do. And I'm going to try and take on his action and see if it adds anything to my speed. Lots of people in the series of videos where I play with Jamie are saying like how effortlessly he generates this power, and it is so amazing to watch the power he generates. But let's talk about how his technique helps him generate the power and what other aspects he pulls on to hit the ball a ridiculous distance. Right, I'm warm. Let's hit you one and see where I am at. Oh, a bit of a toey blocky push is where I'm at. Again, a bit toey, but a good result. Much better strike. And then last one there, I did try and hit that as hard as possible. Happy with the result for direction. Let's show you where my speeds are with my very safe technique. Just gonna move the club here. So I'm 105, 2 106s, and then a 108. I know I can top out at 110 if I'm like proper warm and really loose and the rest of it. Could have took longer warming up, and it could be warmer in England. So with my safe technique, which for me I would say is built around trying to hit fairways, 108, averaging 262 distance, that's carry. And obviously my longest hit here at 1.8 spin, 151 ball spin, totaling 298 with a 274 carry. So you get the strike with a few mile an hour club head speed, and it all comes together and I get my best hits. Let's take a look at Jamie's swing to see what he's doing to generate much faster club head speed than I'm going to. Right, some key factors for Jamie here. When I interviewed him at the start of the year, he did actually say this about his training. How much training physically compared to hitting balls? What percentage was it 50-50 to get what you needed, or was it, where was the skill in sending it as far as you can send it?
It was honestly probably 90-10 for me, training versus hitting balls. I didn't.
Which way around? 90% training, 10%
100%. I didn't hit very many balls. I mean, I always had a swing that was pretty repeatable.
Yeah.
Whether I took a month off or 3 months off, I came back hitting it the same way. So honestly, doing the corporate outings, I was doing 70 a year. That was kind of my practice.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, hitting.
So what we're going to see from Jamie, he's really relaying his speed a lot to his physical being. So my physical being is unfortunately what it is. If I wanted to increase those speeds, that's where I would see the real jump. But if I want to squeeze a bit more, let's look at the technique. And the thing that Jamie says, which I think is quite interesting, if we use a bit of perspective here as good as we can, is his golf swing is very technically sound. Like there's a lot of good movements going on in here. So takeaways in like a good, sensible place. Now, key few aspects that he does. Let's just bring him back to the start. I want you to look at right knee. I'm just going to draw that at the front of his right knee. No effort to retain flex in that right knee. He straightens it as he goes all the way back. And we see a big turn with his upper body, which we'll come to in a second. He releases the left foot. That comes up. Left knee happy to really shoot out forwards as well. So he's absolutely using his legs in such an impressive way to try and get some speed coming up through that ground and down into that club. Now we see a huge shoulder turn, one that would make me feel very unsafe, which is why we see that club go so far back. Big arm swing, big shoulder turn. If he was to calm down that, I don't think he needs to at all. But you know, you do start seeing much more kind of standard lines at the top of the swing, bearing in mind you've got perspective lines you've got to always try and work into this as you look at this, which is a flat image. Now, as he starts the downswing, what I want you to do, I'm going to draw a line on his left foot. So I just want to watch where that left foot goes. So as he completes top of his backswing, big leg movement, big shoulder turn, we see right foot up, left foot up and jumping. Look at the toes, how they spin out and move. Amazing spin and turn with his left foot. And then pushing. Basically, as he comes through, he's not off his right foot. Look, his only thing touching the ground there, the only contact with the ground I would say there, which is interesting, is actually through the toes of his right foot, which is contrary to what most people are thinking, well, getting their weight across. He's actually jumping off the toes of his right foot on that follow through. And then going through to this nice big extended turn to follow through. One other aspect of Jamie's swing, which is quite interesting, I know he doesn't particularly hit massively up. It's something he's kind of worked on. He's always been a more downward hitter. As he starts his downswing, he does tend to keep everything quite close, hold on to angles for quite a long time. People often relate that move to speed, but also if it changed his angle of attacks by 2 or 3 degrees, for what you don't lose in speed by creating different angles on the way down, you'd gain in launch, which is why I always think that the lag thing's always quite interesting. And then we go through to the big extended follow through. Should we have a go? Taking on that action. This could get funny. Right, here we go. So we are gonna go right knee straightening. So in effect, that's gonna give me a nice big hip turn. Big hip turn, in fact, then is gonna allow me to turn my shoulders a lot further. Left knee's gonna come up again, which is gonna facilitate me just completely rotating my body a lot more. And then the downswing part, actually then trying to get that foot on the ground. So almost like a squat down to then trying to get off this foot while pushing off this one. It's that bit. It's kind of all of it that scares me, and that's the problem, isn't it? I've grown up just wanting to hit the middle of that, and now I feel like I might not. Right, it's gonna take me a few goes. Let's see what happens. What speeds can I get to? Oh, it's a little bit like this. Trying to think about this. Right, I'm going this way, aren't I? Okay, here we go, here we go. So I felt like I jumped. I felt like I could turn my shoulders so much more than that. Let's give it another go. Oh, yes. Starting to warm up. Didn't get all of that at all. And you can look at my accuracy is just gone. I mean, that's off the range. I feel like I'm going to be going faster, but I feel like I'm learning golf again. So again, deep hip turn, not afraid of letting this knee come, that foot come up, big shoulder turn, and then from there I'm trying to slam and jump. So I'm literally going massive wind, squat in my head and get out of it as fast as possible. And you've got to remember, this is all happening in my head in a split second. That's like 3 thoughts, which is why I feel like I'm learning golf again doing this. I feel like I have to tee it up higher because when I jump, I feel like I'm getting everything out the bottom of the club, which we'll look at. Oh, I felt like I got that one. Oh yeah, that's out there. Oh, it's not actually. Club head speeds up, delivery faltering. God, I felt on that one. Oh yes, there's the feeling for me. I actually felt that I kept my weight on my right toes and pushed up through those. So that one, I felt I did my backswing. As I came down, put both feet on the floor and then kept this, rather than feeling like I'm getting off this one, I felt like I kept the foot really firm on the floor, so right down in this toe. I felt more pressure going into there as I pushed up, and that felt stronger and a fraction more stable with a jump. Right, let's look at those numbers. Few strikes there at the end. Oh yes. So with my change of technique there, which is aggressively different in my mind and feels wild, and you'll see the dispersions like all over the place. So if we just set some dispersion up here. So the Jamie, basically ball speeds are jumping up 8 miles an hour. Wow. Launch angle sustaining, spin sustaining. Carry jumped up on average much bigger, but you're going to see why the average isn't really that accurate. But look at the dispersion. So the red here compared to the yellow, which is the safer one. So I'm winning, but I'm also massively losing. And there is the anxiety that I have brought up with in golf that I was always trying to manage. Where when you play with someone like Jamie, you realize that anxiety isn't there as much. He's just dialing into these kind of things. Look at that. Anyone watching my video for a while, 286 carry. I don't hit 286 carries very often. And also getting ball speeds of 159. It's only a 267 carry because the spin jumps up, because the strike's all over the place. Let's look at the strike actually. we set this comparison up again, let's just go to club data. So on average, you can see the strike move lower, more center with the Jamie, where with the driver, it was more in my high toe. So when my speed's not there, I'm trying to use strike. I'm literally trying to use everything I can to kind of maximize out of my poor speed, if you like. And then again, look at the club head speed, 106 here to 111. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, the biggest take home for me out of this data is the potential that's in there. If you think about me, let's wind this back to me as a 14-year-old doing this test. I am 100% searching for 286 carries. I am not going to be happy with 274 being my topping out. But the trouble I've got is I need to be able to disable on the course these ones that I'm disabling here. 254, let's take out the 263, 267. So look, I'm 308 on average total distance, 281 I am on carry compared to 262, and a massive jump in ball speed. But I think we all got it wrong. My era of play was very much about hitting nice shots. Someone like John Daly came along who smashed it, had a overswing as the world called it, no one understood it. He got it, and I think if someone like John Daly would have had a different professional kind of approach to his game, I think people would have got it quicker. The person that came along that made you realise, certainly me and many of the coaches realised that we were kind of getting it wrong, was Tiger. He was professional. He was the best. He kept winning and he was smashing it past everyone. Why we forgot about Nicklaus, well, I have a few theories. Maybe you post down below. Why did we go from Nicklaus and Palmer, who used to smash it, and then calm down into a different era and then went back to where we are now? We're doing a Jamie. And remember, you can do a Jamie through fitness or you can do a Jamie through technique or both. Because you've got plenty of golfers like John Ram smashing it who aren't doing the visible Jamie, but they're doing it. So they're pulling on the forces the same way, and they're able to do it from their physical being a bit more. If I was starting golf again tomorrow, this has got to be it, isn't it? But the trouble is, I'm scared I'm going to miss the planet. That's a 278 carry. Hit that straight, didn't feel, I had no idea if I was going to hit that straight or not. That's 112 club head speed. Imagine if I didn't hate gyms. I mean, I would be able to get that up into the 115s, maybe 120s if I actually, well, I would be able to get into 120s if I actually wanted to build myself up. Biggest problem is, pat, pat. That swing feels safer, feels friendlier. It looks better. People watching when I was playing golf would think I'm more serious with that kind of action. The other action in the era I was growing up, people would have gone, what's he doing? Like, why is he hitting it like that? Just hit it straight. And yeah, kind of got it wrong. We all need to be thinking if we want to get better. Molinari's doing it, isn't he? And if it'll work or not is another question. I'll do another video because I feel like I would struggle to make this work at this age. But you can see why they're all trying to bomb it. Post comments down below. Are you going to do a Jamie?